For joining us. Duluth leaders are finalizing their plans to update the city's water treatment infrastructure, some of which was built in the 1800s. Northern News Now's Ryan Hayes has an update on when we might start seeing some of those long-awaited upgrades.
It's hard to see from above, but below Duluth's surface, you'll find pipes first put in place while the Spanish-American War was raging on abroad. Fast forward to 2023, when the EPA said Duluth must upgrade its water infrastructure system, some of which was built before the turn of the century, the 20th century.
Focused on our filtration plants, our pump houses, energy sources.
The EPA's mandate comes after finding deficiencies within the system. For instance, discovering 2 deceased rodents in a water valve vault of the Bayview Reservoir. Despite this, Director of Public Works Jim Benning says the water is safe.
Short answer is no. Nowhere in their report does water quality come up once, ever. It's all about the infrastructure that supports it.
With improvements comes costs. The change in water bills will be negligible for most homeowners, but some businesses may see significant increases in their water bills. As of now, those increases will last for the next 20 years, but the city is hopeful to get more federal and state funding to shorten that period.
Hopefully we can get some support from the state legislature. Had really good conversations over this last week at Duluth and St. Louis County Days. Our legislators at the Capitol really understand the importance of this project. And
while some of the deficiencies have been corrected, there is still some work to do. The city has 180 days to submit all of their plans for repair to the EPA.
It'll be really quick hitting of trying to capture all of the repairs that we can, and the EPA will give us timelines of when they want those completed by.
Water infrastructure repairs coming down the pipe for Duluth. In Duluth, Ryan Hayes, Northern News Now.
And when all is said and done, the projected cost of all improvements would be about $42 million. The proposal will be before Duluth City Council at their March 18th meeting. Right now,